Essentially, it was all a ground up project, and so it was with little frame of reference, essentially. So it was kind of just putting the pieces of the puzzle together, and as a result, we needed to have a lot of dialogue and just kind of throwing the cards on the table, if you will. So it was, I guess, in the beginning a little bit stressful, but it was less stressful as a result of just the great um, relationship that I had with Dan and Susan, and just kind of holding my hand and giving me some good advice along the way. There's always a couple things here and there that come up that are like unexpected. So I kind of tackle it, I guess, from that lens. Again, being ground up, it was more like during the process, a couple of things that came up. I'm like, oh, I didn't think of this or I didn't think of that. And so it was very cool. Like, give a more concrete example, Dan, being well versed on back end in terms of trying to make sure that I had a better presence online. Kind of went above. He just was always willing to go above and beyond to just help me understand the bigger picture in this and what I could do, with my presence online. So kudos to him on that. And Susan, in a similar note, was always there to kind of just help me understand, hey, we need to kind of look at this from a different lens. We need to kind of just focus on certain key pieces of this a little more than I was originally intending to. And as a result, those challenges were not challenges very quickly, as again, as a result of the great team over at eVision. Um, First and foremost, the knowledge I was kind of alluding to in the previous piece. I feel much more well versed on it now, and I think even if future project, I feel like I'm in a much better place thanks to you folks, really. And Yeah, I mean that's kind of it in a nutshell. Not to give you the short answer, but yeah, I just think that they were just great in terms of that piece. Um, I think to me, I think that eVision, again, Susan, Dan, and the whole team that I worked with, um, I think they do more than most. And I've had previous experiences where it was just very cookie cutter. All right, what do you want? Okay, here it's done. I really feel that in a nutshell, and I kind of alluded to it on some of the other questions already, but at every stage from beginning to end, to me, eVision was kind of just there holding my hand and making sure that I felt comfortable every step of the way. That's probably the best way to describe it. It was just really, really pleasant experience. Well, geez, I don't know if this is the answer you were looking for, but to be honest with you, it's kind of funny in the business world. You kind of just look at things and just say, "Hey, I need solutions. I need them now." But I can honestly say that I walked out of this eVision experience with my site making two friends. To me, Susan and Dan are not just it's not a business partnership anymore. And it's a legit friendship. I consider them, not just trusted resources and opinion, where I can get a valuable opinion, excuse me, on a topic that they're well versed in, but I also we can talk about, you know, just our personal lives. How is everything going? How are you feeling? I mean, we're even meeting each other face to face. Imagine that, in a couple months, and just they've really we've become friends, and it doesn't happen that often in the business world. You usually kind of just have that connection to just remain professional, but every now and again you just kind of click or connect with someone that you say, wow, they're so authentic, that you can see them as friends, and that's basically what Dan and Susan are in a nutshell. And I think the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So while I don't know the whole eVision team, I could assume that the whole team is probably cut from the same cloth. Well, that's a good question. One word. Um, Valuable. I think, when you're building a website, it's stressful, whatever your industry or business is, you realize that this is one of your largest channels, one of your largest arteries to the growth of your business. And I can honestly say, I think eVision is a very valuable piece of that equation. So that's probably that's the first word that came to mind. As others, but that would be to me, probably the number one. Yeah, I regularly name drop eVision to colleagues and friends outside of the, let's call it, the hobby world that I'm in, that we have a little bit more of a connection, but also in my professional, let's call it 9 to 5. I've definitely name drop a lot, and I do it with all the confidence in the world that eVision is going to give, whoever I recommend, the same experience they gave me. What do I hate? I don't know if I necessarily like hate anything, but that's a good one. That's kind of like one of those interview questions that catch you off guard, right? But maybe, I guess I wish I was closer so that I'm kind of old school in that regard. That I like the face-to-face interactions. I do that in my 9 to 5, travel, see clients face to face. So again, hate's a strong word, but one thing I would like would be maybe that. But they do their best even in a virtual environment to make you feel at home. So it's kind of, they adjust very well.